Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I've got an espresso this morning. I hope you can hear me. I hope you can see me. We have a comment. All aboard, says Rob Daniels. All aboard. And for you, Rob Daniels, I say, vive on! Please, everybody, give this video a share. I am waiting for the arrival of Deke. I'm waiting for the arrival of our special guest, Steph Honde. I'm going to send him the share link right now. And be ready to go when my buddies show up. All right. Everyone is invited. We are ready to rock. Thought I'd rock the Zeppelin today. So I'm looking forward to talking to Steph. Got a couple of his albums right here. I've been showing these off a little bit this week. This one I unboxed last week. This is the Japanese import version of the Hollywood Monsters. Thriving on Chaos with a bonus track. The bonus track is called I Am the Best You Can Get. And, oh, geez, I've already got questions. Got questions pouring in for Steph. Going to be a good show. Mr. Deke will be joining us shortly. He is just fueling up with a coffee and a bagel. Please give this video a share. And we will be ready to rock. There's Steph. How are you doing this morning, Steph? Good morning. So we've got some questions already pouring in. And I'm looking forward to my co-host, Mr. Deke, joining me as I enjoy my coffee. It is Saturday. It is 8 a.m. in Canada, and the sun is just rising. Aha! I think we have our special guest joining us before my co-host, even. Before my co-host. Well, here we go.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you wonderfully. Can you hear me?
Good, great.
Excellent. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. See, behind me.
Yes, I do.
All the boxes. Oh, and
Oh, wow. Well, I think I am curious about a couple of your box sets behind you.
Yes, like that one. That's the new Frank Zappa one.
The one with the Halloween mask.
Yeah, I have two of them. Can you see? There's the one from last year.
Oh, yes. Very good.
Yes,
I think I mentioned earlier that I think your CD collection can move mountains. It is literally so mighty.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I have a CD store here. that's only my my boxes, box sets room. Then on the other, in my living room, I have thousands of CDs.
Right. You have the same problem I do, which is my CDs are in multiple rooms.
Yeah, and somebody is getting unhappy about that.
Oh, same in my house too. Mr. Harrison Kopp, all the way from Australia, says, bonjour, Mr. Honde.
Bonjour.
Oh, and I would like to introduce to you to my friend Deke, who will be co-hosting with us today.
Hey, how's it going?
Good morning, Deke. It's a little cold up there in Thunder Bay.
Got to put on the toque, eh?
So, Steph, just so you know, I am not too far from Toronto.
Yeah.
So about as south in Canada as you can get. Deke is a little bit further north. He's up in a town called Thunder Bay.
Okay.
And so Deke, have you seen any snow?
Yeah. You can still see some grass coming out through the snow, so just a sprinkling.
Excellent.
Here it's warm. I'm in the south.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very rare that you. I mean, there's snow like maybe once a year, like just one day.
Wow.
Doesn't like it's too warm here.
Wow, no kidding. We don't know what that's like, my friend.
No, I don't. But I would love to play in Canada.
I was going to ask you, my first question was going to be, have you ever been over here?
No, never. And I would love to. Because it seems Canada, to me, seems to have, I guess to all Europeans here, that it seems to have the good side of the US without the craziness.
Well, thank you. I will take that as a great compliment.
It is.
You know, I personally, I'm not very far from where Jim Crean lives in Buffalo, New York.
Okay.
I'm literally about an hour and a half away from Jim. And so a lot of the music from Canada seems to go south through Buffalo where Jim is and vice versa. So through Buffalo, our bands like Max Webster kind of made an in to the United States, and some of their bands like Talus. Yes, Max Webster, the Party.
I love this band.
You do know your Canadian rock. I mean, we've talked. You've worked with Danko Jones and Greg Godovitz.
Yeah, Danko Jones is kind of famous in France. I don't know why.
Oh.
And I was very surprised that he's unknown in the US. Because I think that's the kind of music that people will love over there. I don't know why he's unknown. But he's pretty famous. He's very famous in Sweden.
Huh.
I have no idea why.
You know, I think
I've been listening to Danko Jones since I don't know since his first album.
Wow, that's late '90s, early 2000s, I think at this point.
Yeah,
or maybe mid '90s even.
No, I think it's early 2000, I guess.
Wow.
I don't know.
You know, funny thing, Danko Jones was very big here when he first started, but I think now he's actually more famous overseas than he is in Canada, which is very sad. Personally, feeling I don't think we have enough support in Canada for our musical artists.
Yeah, and the thing with Canada, to me, I think that a lot of music from Canada, I mean, the bands are very, I don't know, so that they are unique. Like Max Webster, it's different. To me, there's a Zappa feel a little bit, or a Steve Vai feeling going on. I bought a Rock Candy CD last week. It was, I guess, the band called Wireless.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty good. Godot, of course. And all these bands, I mean, you can tell when you listen to these bands, like, they're not Americans. They must be from Canada. Because this little thing that makes it like unique. So now these days I'm into Canadian music.
Well, I think Canada has just been flattered very much there.
But I'm not into music from Quebec.
Voivod.
Oh yes, Voivod. Oh, yeah, okay. I didn't say anything. Voivod is one of my favorite band.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, it's like just saw that they are releasing a new live album.
Yes.
And I want it like so bad. And to me, they are, because I didn't know Voivod like until last year, because I thought they were like a trash band, like a kind of B grade band. And then when I heard them, I was like, wow. The last one, the Awakening, I don't remember the name of the album. It's really great.
Yes.
The harmony was so interesting. It's like a mix between punk, prog rock, metal. It's like, and jazz sometimes because of all the harmonies. And
yes.
The best album ever. The last one is very good. But if you Céline Dion, Lara Fabian, there's a guy called Rock Voisine.
Yes, Rock Voisine. Yes.
You know Rock Voisine?
Steph, I have to tell you a funny story. I got in a lot of trouble at my old record store where I used to work because I noticed that we were supposed to have like a master catalog of all the CDs that we have ever carried. And I noticed that Rock Voisine was missing one day. And so I brought it up with my boss. I said, Rock Voisine, he's not in our catalog. And he goes, okay, well, tell the person that made the catalog that's missing and she'll fix it. And I did, and boy, did I get in crap from her. She's like, I can't believe that you ratted me out. You're just mad that your precious Steve Vai isn't in our master catalog. And I was like, what are you talking about? So yes, I know Rock Voisine very well. His name is seared in my memory forever.
He was very famous in France because, you know, between France and Quebec, it's kind of all the same.
Yeah.
Celine Dion has made her first TV shows in France, so she's like, but that's not my thing.
That's okay. My sister's seen Celine Dion live, and she says that she's great. I wouldn't know, but I do know that there's a guitar player named Aldo Nova who has played with Celine Dion a lot. I don't know if you know Aldo Nova. He's played with Bon Jovi.
Yeah, I know it.
He's actually done a lot with Celine Dion, but probably not enough to get you to buy a Celine album.
Oh. I mean, she's a great singer, but
yes.
When I listen to her music, I just want to go to bed or leave or kill myself.
Very fair.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Deke, did you want to pipe up with a question here?
Yeah, Steph. You just showed us your Max Webster box set there.
Yeah.
How did you come across bands like that? Because, you know, back in the day, Max Webster toured with Rush in the States. They didn't really make much of a dent down there. Yet, so in Paris, and you got Max Webster.
Yeah, and France is not a rock and roll country at all.
Mm-hmm.
So people don't even know Rush. I mean, a little bit on musicians.
Right.
And by the way, I was very surprised. I saw Rush in Hollywood.
Oh, nice!
Wow. The place was packed. They were playing the Moving Pictures album.
Wow.
The Time Machine tour.
Yeah. The place is packed. I mean, there's no way it will happen in France. They will just pack a club, something like that. It's sad. And it was the first instrument I've played was the drums. And my drum teacher one day came to me and said, "Oh, I have an album. It's called Max Webster." I thought that was the name of the singer, Max Webster.
Yeah.
Because the guy was a big fan of Rush. And I heard the song. What's the name of the song already?
Battle Scar.
But yeah, and I was like, "Oh, that's great!" And the whole album was great. So, and then I forgot about them for like 20 years. And one day, I don't know, I was on the internet and I saw this box. I said, I need to have it. And I think that's one of the few bands that's, to me, every album is great. There's not one bad album. Everything, and you have the EP, To me, I love all of them.
Yeah, that Kim Mitchell EP, that's got some phenomenal guitar playing on it.
Guitarist.
Yeah, wow.
I have gone on record as saying that is my favorite EP of all time. All time.
Yeah.
And for years, it was hard to get here. It was very hard to get here.
Can you imagine in France? So, and this guy was like, and back in the days, I was listening to Marion. And I thought I was the only one knowing this band. And the drummer said, "Yeah, I know this band." I was like, "Oh, you're my buddy forever." so that's why I bought all the new.
I don't have that yet.
Very good.
Deke, that was a Marillion Afraid of Sunlight, the 5-disc Afraid of Sunlight Marillion Deluxe Edition.
Yeah, I'm out on that one, man.
I didn't like them back in the days.
No?
Back in the days. Now, yeah, because I was a Fish fan. And I liked the first album with Season Zen.
Yeah.
And then after I was like, So I stopped listening to the band for a while. And now I love it again.
I think some of their more recent music has been fantastic as well, Marillion.
I just don't like very much the last album, Fear.
I liked Marbles a lot. I'm sure you have Marbles.
Yeah. I have the 2 CD edition.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. See. Okay. You know what? I did have a question for you regarding your CD collection. In our collector circles, we call it a holy grail when there's something that you've been looking for years, but you just cannot find. What is your holy grail of CDs?
So the problem right now, I'm to a point where I don't know if I have Holy Grail. It's like I have everything I was looking for.
Hmm.
But I just bought one of my Holy Grails just before calling you. There's a band, I don't know if you know them. It's called Divine Comedy from England.
No, I don't.
No.
And they just released the box sets that you can only have on their website. And I'm planning one of them. It's Divine Comedy. It's great. It's it's very British. It reminds me of David Bowie a little bit.
Hmm.
You should listen to them. So they release the box set, and every time there's a box set, I want the box set.
Okay.
That's my crack.
Maybe you can send me a link.
I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I really don't drink. But I do music.
Yes, yes.
There's nothing wrong with that, my friend. Nothing wrong with that.
We can both relate to this problem.
Yeah. Welcome to the club. Yeah. So
I've got there's part of my problem right over there.
we have a sang version.
That's Deep Purple.
Yeah.
Made in
It's
Japan?
a Japanese edition of Smoke on Water, I think.
Oh, the 7-inch.
Yeah,
and it's signed.
It's when I did the tour with Deep Purple.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that too.
So the thing is like, that was funny. It's like the drummer and I, we were big music fans and huge Deep Purple fans. So every time we would go on tour with them, we would bring vinyls with us, and we would go to see them, and then say, "Please sign the vinyls." Everything we had, we asked them to sign, like the pass, everything. And I remember the last time Steve Morse came to me, said, "Yeah, come on, guys, we are friends now. Can you stop asking for autographs?"
That's awesome.
I said, "I don't care. It's for my retirement."
The fact that he said that you're friends, that's just wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's can you stop? Wow. So we had like a bag with vinyls all the time. So I have a lot of vinyls signed by them.
Wow.
Like one day I did ask the same thing to Paul Diano, and he told me, "We are friends and I won't sign it." So I don't have an autograph of Paul Diano. He didn't want to.
Wow.
But you don't want to piss off Paul Diano.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. Teach their
own.
I
have memories with him. I have music with him, so that's okay.
Hey, Steph, I just got to tell you that once this whole COVID thing blows over, you better make sure your house is locked up, because when you show off that signed Deep Purple stuff, Ladano will probably fly over there and try to ransack your house.
I have more.
Oh no!
Yes, all the vinyls here. I have the first Steve Vai flexible edition.
Ooh.
Signed by him.
Wow.
Oh. Wow. Wow.
And one day, when I was living in LA, I went with Tim Bogert for sushi, because
Tim Bogart.
Yeah, and that was his birthday, and
wow.
And he said, "Oh, wait, somebody's calling me," and said, "Oh, that's Carmine Appreciate calling me to wishing me." I was like, "Oh." And she said, "That's your birthday. I have something for you." And it was vinyls of him. I said, "Can you sign them for me?" So I found his solo album, because it's very hard to find, I mean, in France at least. So I have the Cactus, the solo albums, all signed by him. Wow. I was a huge fan of Cactus and Vanilla Fudge, and so when I got to meet him, there was like something awesome. And every time I used to go to his house just to hang out, or to some tea, or to go to sushi, I used to look at him and was like, "Wow, that's still great." Like, I mean, that's my friend now, but I was still a fan. That's weird. And one day it was at his home. He said, "Can I see your bass? Because I never see you play." So he came with his bass and a very small amp. He sat down on his amp and he started singing and playing bass at the same time. I was like, "Oh, wow." nobody's going to believe me. I say, why are my friends here with me? I'm the only one listening to him singing to me right now.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's
awesome. Incredible.
Yeah, so it told me stories about Jeff Beck, that they recorded a second album with Jeff Beck, then that I heard, because it has been recorded. They recorded another live album as well that have never been released. Wow. I don't know why they don't release those things.
Yeah, they should.
Because they are done. I've heard them.
I'm sorry, but I'm speechless because my mind is just blown here by all this rock coolness.
And he told me that they were offered, I think, $1 million to play a tour night, or the three together, to play in Japan, and it never happened.
Oh,
it's like,
wow!
$1 million and you don't do it. And he's not into music anymore. He doesn't care anymore.
Oh, really?
He just rides his bike and that's all.
Well,
he has done everything. He went through everything.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? He played with Led Zeppelin and everything.
Right. Yeah. What else can you do?
Yeah. And one day he told me that he got sick back in the Vanilla Fudge years, I think. He couldn't sing, and Robert Plant came on stage and did the vocals for them. I was like, wow. It's only crazy stories, like a thing with the mob and everything. It's like
I'm going to take a question from a viewer here. Mr. Harrison Kopp had a question regarding your time playing with Paul Di'Anno. He wants to know if anything was ever recorded live with you and Paul.
There's a lot of videos on YouTube.
Okay.
There's a whole concert on YouTube.
A whole concert.
Yeah, I can send you the link when we're done.
Sure.
The sound is not that great because it's a soundboard, I think. But there's the whole show. There's a lot of things. The thing we didn't rehearse here. Nothing.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
We didn't rehearse with Paul Di'Anno. We just met on stage, basically. That was pretty scary. I mean, with the band, we rehearsed like 5 times only. I mean, Iron Maiden is not that easy because we have to be very sync with the other guitar player. Otherwise, it's just crap. And people who like or love Iron Maiden, they want you to play exactly the same guitar solos, everything. So we had a lot of pressure, and his manager told us that, you know what, Paul Di'Anno is not very easy, can be violent, and so I was like, oh no. And so I had to pick him up at the airport. I was the only one because the other one got scared. So he said, no, go. So I had to go to the airport by myself. I was like, oh, no. And here comes this big guy. He looks like the Godfather. And he was very, very nice to me. With me, he was very nice. But he had some moments where he was kind of scary. When he gets angry, it's like, oh, you don't want to piss him off. And we just... we went in my hometown. It's a very small town, and we did one rehearsal in front of him. He didn't sing anything he wanted us to play. So, and I guess people knew about it. So we were in a rehearsal room, and we heard people walking around, and we saw people with Iron Maiden vinyls. People were looking for him. That was funny, and that's it. And the first time we really played with him was on stage.
Wow.
So it was Ideas of March, something like that, the first song. And Watch Out, that was the song. And we had to come on stage first, and then you start playing, and then here comes Paul Di'Anno, and I spent the whole evening playing on the side of stage like that. I was just looking at him the whole time. He was my Iron Maiden was the first band I've been listening to when I was a teenager. So it was like I'm playing with my hero. So there's videos of that on YouTube, and
The very first show.
I didn't move. I was just looking at him. That's all, and didn't know what to do because I was so impressed.
Did the first show go well then? Like even without a rehearsal?
Yeah. The only thing if he wanted us to play faster, because we tried to play exactly the same as the songs back in the days,
right?
The same sound, everything, and he likes everything to be played very, very fast, which is not a good thing. So, but you can't say no to him. I say, okay, we're going to play faster, but like because he's a punk guy, it's punk. So
yeah,
it was the Ramones, Sex Pistols, and I don't think he likes Iron Maiden. No, really.
That's too bad. I love, like, I think the first Iron Maiden album is very punky, and that's what I like about it. Actually, it's one of the things I like about it. And Deke, you grew up with that.
Even had because we got along together very, very well. We were supposed to record an album together, and I said, you know what, you should record an album like a punkish album, like the first Iron Maiden, because that's what people want.
Yeah.
I mean, don't stop recording like a B grade. I mean, that's not nice to say that, but it's like it's B grade Iron Maiden-ish music. Just do your thing, and I think it's going to work way better than now. And he was up for it, and then he had his problem. Now he can't walk. He's on a wheelchair.
Yeah, a wheelchair now. I know I saw him walking with a cane before.
Oh, I saw. I went to visit in England, and he couldn't walk. He was on a wheelchair. His knees were that big. I was like,
that's a shame.
And I don't know what he's doing right now.
So Steph, you said that Paul Di'Anno doesn't necessarily like playing the Iron Maiden stuff. Like,
no, I think he would love to move on from that, but he has to, because people want him to sing Maiden. So he's kind of stuck.
Yeah, so. Probably had something to do with how it probably all ended for him in Maiden, with Harrison Smallwood, giving him the boot. And like you said, when people just focus on those two albums plus the Maiden Japan EP, it's hard to get out of that rut because everybody just wants to hear those tunes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what happens when you're a very successful band. But I don't know. I mean, I had fun playing those songs. I mean, just to play Phantom of the Opera live, it's like, wow.
Yeah, there you go.
Because on stage, you work like it was Iron Maiden, like all the in the middle section of the song, there's a thing with the bass. Everybody was like banging. I was like, that was great. The guitar solos, everybody knew everything by heart, and that was cool. I'll send you all the links.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. It's fun.
Now, as a fan of Maiden, I think, and you can correct me on this, but I thought I read an interview, and I went back to see if I could find it, and I couldn't. Seventh Son is one of your all-time favorite albums. Is that?
No. Yes, and there's a reason for that. It's because it's the first album I've bought.
Oh.
So to me, that's sentimental thing to me. And I was walking down the street. I don't know. It was like 87, 88.
It was 88.
Yeah.
Okay. And also I was 13, and I saw a big poster of this album. I was like, wow, that's so cool. I love the album because I was into drawing back in the days. And I saw that, I was like, wow, it looks so cool. I didn't know where it was. So I bought the cassette.
Well, that's a great entry point into Iron Maiden, because that's one of my favorite albums of theirs as well.
Yeah, because and when I heard the what was the name of the first song?
Moonchild.
Moonchild.
Yeah, but when he sings the Seven Deadly Sins,
yes.
I was like, why is that? It's like, that's weird. It's like medieval music, and because I didn't know anything about music. And then the intro of Moonshine, I was just blown away. To me, was like a heroine, and I was hooked for forever. And the good thing, I think, is, to me, it's a great mix between rock music, heavy metal, and everything. So the week after, I got to listen for the first time Dark Side of the Moon, and then the week after, The Wall. So to me, everything was connected. To me, there weren't heavy metal or prog rock. To me, it was all the same. because of this Iron Maiden album, because it gives you the an option to like metal, rock prog, or whatever. So, and I remember all these albums that when I get to listen to them for the first time, like The Wall, I was like, then the Final Cut, I don't know. And I used to buy albums just because of the artwork.
Yeah, for Maiden, you have to buy the albums for the artwork. That's for sure.
Yes, yeah, I agree.
It doesn't work this way anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, you know, going back to some of those classics, those Maiden classics, the album artwork by Derek Riggs, and of course some of the Pink Floyd, the Hypnosis artwork, and the Def Leppard album covers. So there's heavy metal has the best album covers. I'm saying it right now. Heavy metal has the best album covers. Hey, yeah. I've got that over there somewhere. There it is.
Good. Yeah, but and you. Funny that the thing that's like when Derek Riggs left the band. I mean, left.
Yes.
The music sucked as well.
The music? Did you say the music sucked?
Yeah. I mean,
okay. You know what? That's an interesting point because our friend Harrison here from Australia, he loves the Blaze Bayley era of Iron Maiden, which is when they started using Hugh Syme to do the album covers.
I like the first one with the Blaze Bayley. I like
the X Factor.
I think it's a great song. But I think he left after Seven Son of Seven Son. No Prayer for the Dying is made by somebody else, I think. Or maybe No Prayer for the Dying is the last one with him.
No Prayer for the Dying is the last one, and then Fear of the Dark, I believe, used Melvin Grant, I believe.
Yeah, but to me, it's gone, and then the music is going like. Ooh.
Well, you know, there's certain amount of truth to that. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna stay neutral, but I certainly understand where you're going with that, and you're right. I was very happy when Bruce Dickinson rejoined the band, and they got Derek Riggs back to do the Brave New World album art. And you may know that Iron Maiden has this new live album coming out in a month with Sign of the Cross on it.
Yeah,
with
but
singing.
This time I don't know if I'm going to buy it because I bought the last live one. And I've heard it only maybe a couple of times.
Okay.
I can hold this in, because again, I'm going to say something. 3 guitarists like that, no, it's too useless. I mean, I mean, I bought the new Eagles live album.
Yes.
And I think they are 3 playing guitars. Yes, Steve Walsh, and they play like it's so great the way they play. All the harmonies are just great, and Maiden, it's just a mess.
Too much?
I don't know. Maybe they don't rehearse at all. I have no idea. But if you listen to the harmonies, they are out of tune, and I can't. Because back in the days, he was very sharp. Maiden was like it was great, and now to me it's a mess. Dickinson is great.
Yeah.
Steve Honde is great. The guitar, I have a problem with it.
Well, you know what? Enough about Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden. Why don't we talk about this other guy? Why don't we talk about this guy? Because this guy right here, he just released a new album this week, an acoustic album called Empire of Ashes.
Yes. So the thing with that is like, I've done this album like I don't know, maybe it was last year. I didn't know what to do with it because it's as you've heard it, it's an acoustic one.
Yeah.
And I knew that labels wouldn't want it because it's not heavy metal and I'm getting tired of labels like very much because there's things people don't know. They are very rude to musicians, and then they treat us like shit.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
They don't pay anymore. So we get nothing, like 0. And the last straw was yesterday, 2 days ago, when I saw that Universal Group made more than $1 billion on streaming during the pandemic, and we got nothing. So enough already. So I said, you know what? I'm going to sell it on Facebook. It's going to be better for everybody. So it's going to be cheap. The money is going to be for me, and I can release whatever I want. I can release maybe 3 or 4 albums a year. Mm-hmm. I want. I mean, I'm always open to work with a label, but it has to be fair.
Yeah. I know you posted some statistics recently about how much artists make from streaming, and it honestly, it broke my heart. We're living in a pandemic right now, and artists are starving, to be quite honest with you. And I want to support the artist. If I can buy the CDs straight from the artist, I can. If I can, I will. And I hope everybody that has the means to support the artist they love, I hope they go ahead and buy it.
It beats the musician's fault as well, because it's been this way for maybe 20 years. And but we want to pretend that everything is fine, that we are rock stars, that we're living the life, because it looks good to do that. So you see on Facebook, I mean, it's like that with everybody. Everybody's like, oh, I'm living the life. It's like, oh, see my car. It's like, oh, it's nice outside. But meanwhile, I get 0 from the labels, 0 from Spotify, iTunes. It's not right.
No, it's not.
It has to stop. Yeah, it's like on YouTube, if you have 1 million views, you make $600 bucks. What's the point?
Yeah, what is the point?
What's the point? It costs more to make the album than to and but the problem is, like, people don't know about it. It's like, oh, I thought that you were all rich, and no, it's back in the days, yes, not now.
That's a shame.
Yeah, but everybody should stand up for that thing and talk about it, instead of pretending that everything is fine. It's not the case. Especially
when you can't support yourself by playing live right now.
Yeah, and to me, in a way, this pandemic thingy magic is a blessing in disguise, because things were wrong for a long time.
Yeah.
And with this pandemic, we have to face the problem, because we have no other choice. It's like, okay, we have to reinvent ourselves now. And like, we have to maybe make progress music-wise as well, because I think there's a problem in the heavy metal scene as well. I think it's been the same for years and years. Like, you don't see a lot of teenagers being listening to heavy metal now. It's only people our age.
Yeah.
Because before, it was a rebellion way of thinking. Like, if you were listening to Iron Maiden back in the days, you were like,
yeah.
Now it's like, oh, my son listened to. I have a son, and he's like, oh, your music for old people, or your bourgeoisie music. I'm like, oh no, I'm old.
Here in Canada, they call it dad rock.
Exactly. And yeah, but when you have your music on the cruise, that's not a good sign.
I have a similar feeling about it, but on the other hand, those Kiss cruises, they play so many obscure tracks.
Yeah, but that's great for us. But for the music itself, I don't think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's good for the musicians, because that's one of the only ways to make money now.
Yeah.
I mean, not even now. But I think, when I moved to LA, the first month I was like, wow, that's so great. I get to see all these musicians, blah, blah. They were all playing Dio stuff. And after 6 months, I was getting tired of that. It's like, there's no new music. It's only music from the 80s. It's like, I want to hear something new. So what is the point to cover Dio to death, or bands from the 80s? And I was looking in the audience, and I was like, there's only people in their 40s, 50s. There's no, and something is wrong.
Yeah.
Could I just ask you a quick question, Steph? What facilitated that move to go from France to LA? I'm always interested in backstories of that kind of.
Oh, it's a lot of things. I was back in the days, I was playing in a French band called Café Bertrand. So we toured with Deep Purple and AC/DC. That was great. And I got tired playing that band. I was frustrated. I was only the guitar player. I wasn't playing exactly what I liked. And so I quit the band. And then I just a few days after, I was called to join the Audiano band. And things were wrong in my personal life. And I got tired of the musician way of thinking in France. And I said, oh, you know what? I'm going to go on vacation in LA, to LA, just for 2 weeks. And I fell in love with the country. So okay, I'm going to move over there.
Wow.
And I got to meet all my heroes in LA. Like I got to meet Vinny Epichet, Tim Bogert, Bruce Kulick as well.
Oh, wow.
I had lunch with Bruce Kulick and Vinny. And back in the days, I couldn't speak English. That was very intimidating. I was in a restaurant, at the restaurant, and was like, I said, okay, I have a band. The idea of a band would be called Hollywood Monsters. Would you like to play with me?
And there it is.
Yes. So maybe if things are okay, maybe this one is going to be released in Europe and maybe the US next year.
I only received the album last week, but I have a number of favorites on this album. Running Uphill is a great tune. Cold Sweat by Thin Lizzy, of course. Yeah. You're a big Sykes fan, aren't you? Like as far as a guitar influence. Yeah. Mr. Deke down there, John Sykes is one of his all-time favorite guitar players.
I just can't believe that guy's gone right off the map since basically Blue Murder. I mean, it's amazing. I guess he's got a good royalty deal from the '87 Whitesnake album or something.
Yeah, because it's a shame that he doesn't want to release his new album. I don't understand that. He was signed to Golden Robot like us.
Yeah, that's right, and it fell through.
Yeah. So I've heard that's his fault, and on the other hand, I heard that's the label's fault. I don't know whose fault.
But
and I choose Cold Sweat because when I listen to Danko Jones, I hear Feel Like Not always.
Yes, 100%. A lot of my friends have said that Danko Jones is Canada's Phil Lynott.
Yeah, and one day I asked, I said, you know what, you should sing easy because I hear that when you sing. Said, would you record a song with me, Cold Sweat? And he said, yes, let's go.
That's cool. That's
cool. And I love this song, and I love the way John Sykes plays.
Yeah.
I didn't do the same guitar solo, but I want to keep the same feel. Yeah. Even the intro of the guitar solo is not the same. But it feels like it's the same, but it's not.
The Sykes album that he did with Tigers of Pang Tang, Spellbound. I mean, that's also got some great playing on there from him too. I mean, you could just see he was gonna.
And do you have his live album with Marco Mendoza, Tommy Aldridge?
Okay, I have that one.
It's very hard to find now. It's super expensive. I found it last year. Finally, the Holy Grail, one of the Holy Grails. This album, it's a very good album. He's a very good singer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I didn't expect that when I picked up, Blue Murder. It's like, it's the guitar player from Whitesnake, but that guy could wail. He can sing.
Yeah.
He must have done a lot of backing vocals with them live.
That's true. He played on the Sliding album. Yeah. But being in France, I knew the UK version of the Sliding, so it wasn't.
Right. Whereas I got the US version first.
Yeah, I think that's kind of fun to do that, different versions of one album.
And it must have cost a lot of money back then to do that too. I mean, they were probably really banking on that album cracking big when you start doing two different versions of.
Yeah, and that makes me think that with what's going on these days, like people are bitching that the quality of albums is not as good as before, but people have to think that there's no money anymore. So people are doing like I do. I record at home. I do my best to have a good sound. But back in the days, they had money. They had big studios. They could record for a year. Now we have to do that with the non-album. We did that in 1 week.
1 week.
Wow. I have recorded my vocals in just 6 days.
Wow.
So that was pretty scary.
It sounded great.
Yeah, I love it. The thing is, like, I lost my voice just 3 weeks prior to the recording.
Wow.
I had a virus, so I don't know why that was. And I couldn't speak, nothing. I didn't know why. And I was like, wow, I have to record a new album in 3 weeks. And I don't know if you heard the album yet. vocal-wise, it's very demanding. I was like, I can't do that. I can't even speak. And I didn't know the guys in the band. So when I went to the recording studio, I said, how are you? My name is Steph. And I said, okay, I have 1 week to do the album. And I didn't even know if I could speak or sing.
Well, it worked out because it's a great sounding album. I just want to quickly read a question here. Robert Daniels, who's a local radio personality in my town. In Canada, we have something called SOCAN, which is a government grant. He wants to know if in France you have any kind of equivalent of SOCAN, if there's any kind of support for artists in France.
It's called SACEM. No, I've never asked for help or whatever, but they don't have any help now these days. It's over now because of this pandemic.
No money.
Labels don't have any help anymore. It's been like it was decided like 2 weeks ago. They say now labels it's over. It's over for musicians. I mean, it's really, really bad. And I don't think there will be any live shows next year either.
Oh, I know.
Because you've seen that there's a lot of huge bands, they are postponing their tour to 22.
Most recently, Ozzy and Judas Priest.
Yeah. And so the problem is like it was hard this year, but I think next year is going to be worse. Yeah. Because I don't think venues are going to be able to keep their business going like this way.
I have the same fears as you. I really do.
Yeah, I think a lot of places are going to stop their businesses, and that's why we need to find another way.
Yeah, we do.
Promote our music to. So I don't know yet what's the solution.
Yeah.
But one the thing I know is that we have to stop using the same model as in the 80s, like label promotion. It's over.
Yes.
There's no point.
It's basically self-promotion now, like what you're doing. I mean, Mike sent me your link of your cover of Running with the Devil. Fantastic. I mean, that was awesome. I mean, you pulled off Roth and Eddie pretty good on that one, pal. So
yeah, that was pretty fun to do because I've never played in Van Halen before. I was like, okay, I want to try to recreate the sound of Van Halen, his guitar tone, which is very unusual, and David Ross. So that was like, okay, I'm going to try.
Yeah, hey, it worked, man. Sounds great. So
yeah. So maybe I'm going to do another one. I don't know. Just for fun.
You know, I kind of wanted to ask you. You know, this album here is covers, and it's a lot of really good covers. Incidentally, I really like when you sing David Coverdale songs. But you record in your home all kinds of video covers. You know, you could easily release 2 or 3 of these.
Oh yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. So maybe I could do those things like 3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah, covering the Monsters 2, 3.
Yeah, because I record music every day. I practice every day. I think that's very important. I practice every day, no matter what. Even now, because in the beginning of this pandemic, everybody was very into it. It's like, okay, now we have time. We are going to record new songs like we did with Jim. We have written the new album just 2 weeks, and now it's getting long, and people are losing focus now.
Yes.
And I think it's important to keep on practicing because sometimes even me who has never done that before, sometimes I'm like, oh, what's the point? I don't know when I'm going to play again. It's like if I release an album, I'm going to get 0 money. So it's hard to stay focused.
I do hope people are willing to pay the $10 for your new acoustic album because
$10
is really good.
$10 sometimes one day because sometimes I can get snappy, but a girl wrote a comment saying, "Oh, you know what? I don't have any money now," and I wrote back, "You know what? You have money when you want to have an iPhone. You can spend $10 on an album. Stop with that excuse." That's and then they would message me saying, "Okay, but can you send me one for free, like a gift?" No, it's like that's a job. It's like I spend time doing those things. They think that we are super rich, or that music is just a hobby, and
I think during this pandemic, I've learned to value music more than ever before in my life.
Yeah.
At the very beginning, Amazon in Canada, they wouldn't ship music because it wasn't considered essential. So, you know, it's essential to me, but you know, I really value
more by music than food.
Right. But I really do hope that people are willing to give you a shot with this new acoustic album. You did a 23-minute, well, the full length version of Supper's Ready. It took you a year to record it. Like that's worth $10 to me.
To me too. the thing is, I wanted to do a video for Facebook. I said, okay, I'm going to just record the beginning of Supper's Ready. And then I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to try then the next segment, and then the next one, and then the next one. And it was more and more difficult to play. I was like, oh. And I had to find a drummer, because that was the hardest thing, was to find a drummer.
Right, and I had his name in front of me a minute ago, but I've lost it.
Dave Pontrello. I don't know how you pronounce his name. It's from Canada.
Right, yeah. So I saw his name on some Jim Crean credits. So I wondered if you hooked up with him via Jim.
I don't remember. I don't remember how we met on Facebook, but I don't know. But this song, it took me 1 year. Usually I'm pretty fast to record songs, but this one, it's very hard to sing. I think it's the hardest song to sing ever. I had to learn how to play the keyboard on that song, and so I had to learn really, because I'm not that good keyboard wise. I had to learn all the bass lines, all the guitar. Steve Hackett is a very good guitarist.
Yeah. And there's a lot of guitar in that song, acoustics and electrics. You played the solo at the end is just mind-blowing stuff.
Yeah, and there's a solo in the middle. I kept the same one as the original. But what was difficult is like when I record things, I record so by myself. So in the beginning, I just record one guitar. So it works if I want to record like a rock song, because you can hear the chords. But with Genesis, it doesn't work, because if you play just one guitar, you don't recognize the song. You need to add the second guitar, then you start to recognize the song. And then if you add the piano, then you recognize the song. So I had to have in mind all the segments and everything. That was very, very difficult. I have to count everything. It was a nightmare.
Yeah. I just want to put another comment on the screen here. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm assuming you're in Russia, but the longer the wait for live shows may mean that some artists won't be around, and that's another fear. Bands just might have to pack it in.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are going to disband. Yeah. Because we're just going to give up on. I think it's going to happen. Not the Eagles, not our Maiden, but the less famous band. I think there's a lot that are going to just give up.
I think in Canada that's a very real danger too. My friend,
to me, music is my life. So it's like to me, I have no choice. Like I have to keep on doing what I do, whatever happens. Because to me, music, life without music, it's the same thing for me. There's no point. So I'm going to wait like what, maybe 2 years.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, but I don't know how when I'm going to play live again. That's the thing that scares me.
I fully understand and wish I could say something to make this all better. But
yeah, because we had all these plans, like with Jim, we planned to play in the US, in Canada, in Brazil, right. And that was great. And then the pandemic. Oh no, why? Why now?
Yeah,
that sucks. And by the way, the new Jim Crean album is going to be really, really great.
I can't wait. The London Fog only came out last year, so this is a quick turnaround for another album from Jim. And you co-wrote with Jim this whole album in 2 weeks, you said?
Yeah, so I wrote the music in 1 week, I think. And then I sent the music to him, and he wrote the melodies and the lyrics, and in 2 weeks it was done.
And you do this, I guess, all over the internet, like video conferencing and things?
Yeah, so on this album I play the guitar, the bass, and keyboard.
Cool.
Nice.
Vinny on drums and Jim vocals. And the thing I liked is like because we didn't take that much time, it's very straight to the point, and
Cool.
it sounds very fresh. It's like if you like Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Dio, that's for you.
Well, speaking of that, you covered "Sail Away" with Jim Crean duet with, and that was a surprise to me. I wasn't expecting that, but I loved it. You basically sang like the Coverdale part, and he would answer you with the Glenn Hughes. Brilliant stuff.
But with a different music.
Right? Yeah. Now, my friend Harrison is quite critical of acoustic versions of "Sail Away," but I will defend your choice there. I thought it was great, but why did you choose "Sail Away" instead of something maybe a little bit more obvious like "Soldier of Fortune," which is already acoustic?
Yeah, because I don't want to do something obvious. If I'm not working with a label that I'm free to do whatever I want, I'm going to play Super's Ready, Sail Away, the acoustic version. Because that's the thing. To me, artists have to take risks.
Yes.
If you play what people want you to play, there's no point. And I think that was the problem for 20 years. It's like musicians are so afraid to lose their fan base that they just play over and over the same songs. And I thought, okay, I'm going to play Sail Away that I love. I love the original version, but in a different way. So it's a choice. I mean, to not like it doesn't matter. So I'm taking a chance on it.
I think you just gave the best answer I've ever heard to a question, which is that you're doing it because you want to do something different. I think that's the best answer I've ever heard.
Yeah, to me, that's viral. You have to do something different. I mean, back in the days, Rush were different, and they are successful because they've been different for 40 years.
And that's the thing too. A lot of bands get stuck on that nostalgia circuit. I mean, the city I live in, none of these bands like ZZ Top, Foreigner, they would not come near my city back in their heyday. But now that 40 years have passed on from their heyday, they now will show up here, right? So it's just almost because everybody, and that's the set they're playing. They're playing the same stuff. They don't push anymore. So
yeah, and one of my biggest influences is David Bowie, and David Bowie was killing himself all the time. I like to think this way. Like he was successful on doing Ziggy Stardust, and then say, okay, now it's over. I'm moving on to something else, and then I'm moving on to something else, and that's why he got so constant and so famous, and because he was reinventing himself all the time.
I still remember Tin Machine.
Yes.
Yeah. It's great.
I mean, that was totally different than what he was doing from Let's Dance, and that was like 4 years earlier, I think.
Yeah, and when you do that, of course, there's some people who's going to bitch at you because it's not Ziggy Stardust anymore, it's not China Girl.
No, of course, but that's a sign of a good artist changing with.
Or Frank Zappa, of course, like he was changing every 10 seconds.
yeah. I have one.
But I think that's what should be, or Mike Patton from Mr. Bungle.
Yes, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, me too.
That's awesome.
And you have to, in my book, you have to do that. You have to be able to play some metal and then an acoustic album and then I don't know, like some jazz or whatever.
I'm not sure. I'm not as musical a person as you are, obviously, but I'm not even sure how to describe that first track on your new acoustic album. I described it to Deke as being almost like a tango beat.
You really?
Yeah, I don't know what terminology you would use, but that's the first word that came to my head. It sounded like something, a tango.
I have no idea. There's some I don't know. That's just what came to me.
And you did it.
Yeah, it's like I just don't care. And it's like okay, it's like I have this idea. I just want to record it, and that's all.
So even though record labels are treating the artist like crap, when an artist like yourself is free of a record label, you are free to creatively go anywhere you want, and you do.
And I think that's, in a way, that's very exciting, because when I had this idea a few days ago, it's like, now I can record whatever I want.
Yeah,
that's great. It's like then the thing that is not easy is to have a fan base on Facebook, which is people on Facebook, they are on their feeds, they have some pictures of boobs and then one guy playing music, and then so it's hard to have to keep the connection with people.
Yes,
but at least you do whatever you want, because If you come up with a 24 minutes long song, they're gonna tell you no.
No,
There's
yeah.
no way.
No.
They said, but it took 1 year to do it. No, they don't care because they want you to play Holy Diver, Slip of the Tongue, or Still of the Night, like that.
Yeah.
Can you sing White Snake? Yeah, no. Oh, by the way, I'm going to. I've just recorded 2 songs for a band called AOR.
AOR.
Yes. So they have released, I don't know, like few albums, and there's a lot of guests on their albums. So Jeff Scott Solo was on the first one, I think. All the guys from Toro were on the album.
Wow.
And on the next one, so I sing 2 songs. There's a guy Paul Sabu. I don't know.
I've heard of him. Yeah.
Heard of him too. Yeah.
And Tommy Denander, the guy from Sweden who plays with Hollywood Vampires. So it's very 80s. But it was fun to do. The 2 songs I've recorded are very slide it-ish. So and there's the Sun Road band as well. I'm working on. Nice. I don't know if you heard that. I'm working with a band from Brazil.
Oh, interesting.
The name of the band is Sun Road.
Sun Road. Okay, I think I've heard that name before too.
A picture of one of the guys in the band. Was that on your Instagram or something? Or
yeah, and on Facebook. The drummer. I think is the
drummer. Yeah.
Fred. His name is Fred Nika. So I have I've written the album with them. I wrote the music, and the drummer wrote the lyrics, and we did a cover of UFO.
Which one?
Try Me.
Ooh.
Is this the name? Yeah, Try Me.
Wow.
It's about from UFO. So I sing on this song, and I don't know it. Maybe I'm going to sing on the War album. I don't know.
Wow.
I'm going to drop one more viewer question here. Has Steph ever considered playing Russian in other Eastern Slavic countries, because there's a big interest in rock bands which never had the opportunity to play there when they were popular?
We'd love to.
I guess we can't do anything right now, so.
You want me to play in Russia? No problem. In North Korea? Okay.
You'll play as long as there's a gig to play, I guess.
Oh, yeah. I miss playing like crazy.
Deke, I think you had one more question, eh?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the Now or Never.
Yeah, let's talk about Now or Never.
Your vocals on it are stellar. I just wanted to know, you're a guitar player by trade, but in that band, you just seem to be the straight vocalist. How is that? Like, do you feel comfortable just being the straight singer?
And I play a guitar solo on one song. Okay. I don't remember which song. It's Another Story. I think the song Another Story, the guitar solo, it's me. But no, that's a good thing, because I wanted to focus on just being a singer these days.
Yeah, that's, it's just, that album is just some great straight ahead driving rock. I mean, 2 Worlds Away and Circle of Pain, and the version you guys did of Winds of Freedom, which is on YouTube as a quarantine video. Everybody check it out. It's great, man. Like, well done.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, that was my phone. And Ricky Marks, the guitar player, is great. So I don't have to play guitar. It's okay. And my goal was to go on stage and just be a singer on stage, and I can't do that right now.
Yeah. But it's good it came out. So, everybody's trying to keep busy doing, like you said, doing what you're doing. So keep
because I felt very static on stage with the guitar and singing. I wanted to be able to run around and do like Bruce Dickinson thingy.
That's cool. So you're not even wearing the guitar when you're doing a Now or Never gig. Whenever that happens, you won't be wearing a guitar.
No, just I'll be like, whoa, like that.
The mic stand. You can do the David Coverdale.
Yeah, scream for me, Canada, or whatever.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you one more question from myself, which is, as a front man, without the guitar, who do you aspire to? Who would you aspire to be? Like a Ronnie James Dio kind of front man, a Dickinson? How do you see yourself on that stage as the front man?
I just want to be myself.
Okay.
Back in the days, I mean, I think it's kind of obvious, but the first singer who made me want to be a singer was Corridor. Yeah, it's kind of obvious. And the thing I liked with him, the first album I've heard was Snakebite and Willing. And I was like, wow, this guy, and when he sings, there's something going on. I can feel so much power. And I didn't like 1987 back in the days. To me, it was too commercial because I came from the blues rock side of Whitesnake. And so when you're a musician, you try to mimic your heroes all the time. Like I want to be the new Richie Blackmore. I want to play like Jeff Beck, John Sykes, or David Gilmour. And now my goal is to just be myself. Like I want to be on stage and just behave the way I behave in life. I don't know. I want to get rid of all these heroes I have in my head.
Once again, just a great answer. Deke, do you have anything?
I think that would be a big mistake to be like Corridor on stage.
You could end up looking like a joke.
Yeah, and it's done already.
Yep.
So the only thing that can happen is like you can be alike, but you can never be yourself. Yep. And if you're not yourself, you will never have a career, or you will never be, or you go and you do a tribute band.
Yeah. Deke, you want to ask anything before we go?
Yeah, I got one more question for you, and I just want to go back in the time machine with you for a bit. When your band, sorry, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Café
Bertrand.
Thank you. Now, when you say you open for AC/DC, nowadays when you open for AC/DC, you're opening up for 80,000 people. Now, how did that whole thing happen? I mean, that's a gig in a lifetime.
Very, very funny. I have millions of stories, but this one was fun. One night, I had a call, but I think it was midnight, and that was the promoter of AC/DC and the guy who works with Deep Purple. His name is Gerard Roux. He's the biggest promoter in France. And he calls me and said, what are you doing next week? And I said, nothing, I'm free. And he said, okay. I said, that was weird. And back in the days with the band, we wanted to be roadies for AC/DC because we were all fans of AC/DC. And they told us, no, you can't be roadies for AC/DC. We don't want you guys to be roadies for AC/DC. I said, I don't get it. That's weird. And then he calls me back, like 10 minutes later. He said, you playing next week on Wednesday and Friday.
Wow.
Okay. And where? He said at the Stade de France, the stadium, the French stadium in Paris, and the one in Marseille, so the two biggest stadiums. Okay, with AC/DC. What? Next week, they said we don't have time to rehearse or nothing. So I said yes, and I had to call the other guitarist, who was a big, huge AC/DC fan, at midnight, and say, hey, you know what? We're going to play next week in the biggest stadium in France with AC/DC. And he got pissed off. He said, if it's a joke, it's not funny, I'm going to kill you.
No kidding.
And the funny thing, I wasn't the singer. The singer was asleep. So he was the only one who didn't know about it. So the next day in the morning, went to his house. I don't know, his house was open. And he was asleep still. So we went into his bedroom and we woke him up and said, wake up, we have 2 years. We're playing with AC/DC next week. And he thought it was a joke. That was funny. So we had just 1 rehearsal.
Wow.
Just one. And but it was so big that you don't your brain doesn't compute these things. It's too, but it's very impressive.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an awesome story.
That is awesome. Thanks.
And I remember when we saw the guys, AC/DC, we were just behind the stage, and all of a sudden there was like nobody was talking. It was a big silence. And there's a guy saying, you know what, you have to be on the side, you have to let some space. What's going on? And then we saw all the guys from AC/DC walking. There was a silence. It was like, look like kids. They are very, very small. But we were like, wow, that's the guys from AC/DC. That's incredible.
Wow.
But to me, playing on in a stage like that was the easiest concert of my life.
Wow.
I thought I was going to die just before I was going on stage, because when you go on stage in front of 80,000 people who doesn't want to hear you, it's pretty scary.
Yeah.
And it really feels like you're going to die. And we were like, who's going first on stage? I said, I don't want to. And the guys, no, I don't want to either. And I think I'm the first one who goes on stage. There's a video of us going on stage. And once we were on stage, it was easy. Everybody loved us. And it was the best experience ever. It was fun. The best sound. I got deaf after a show.
I'm again, my mind is blown. This entire talk today has been a series of mind-blowing stories. So thank you so much for spending an hour with us today. It's now morning. The sun is now up, so I think I'm going to eat some breakfast.
And I'm going to buy some more CDs.
Record Store Day. Happy Record Store Day, Steph.
Today?
Yes.
See, I didn't even know, so I have to go outside and do something.
Excellent. Well, if you get to a record store, then good hunting.
Yeah, I'll send you some pics.
Excellent. And don't forget those video links too, eh?
Okay, I'm going to do that now.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you, Steph. Thank you so much. And you have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Good.
Bye,
Take
guys.
care. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Well, Deke, that was fun.
Yeah, it was totally fun. And a lot of pretty cool insight on somebody who's just doing his own deal right now, and
doing his own deal.
Totally. Yeah, like it's impressive. I mean, he's not sitting around on his ass doing squat. You know, like it's kudos to him. I mean, just hearing how many projects he's involved. I mean, it's kind of he's got work ethic. I guess I should have told him that. That's total serious work ethic, and that's good. He's driven. So yeah, it was great, man. It was great. He shared all those stories. I mean, he's just a music fan as well, a music fan who made a career of it. So you know, it's pretty cool. I liked when he talked about how quick the record came together in like 2 weeks that he's doing. I mean, it kind of reminds me, like I'm reading the Halford book, Confess. And he in it talks about how in a month they wrote from scratch, recorded, engineered, did the packaging of British Steel in 30 days.
Yeah.
Like those are sometimes the best records, like just going for it. So it's pretty cool to hear his side of stuff like that.
Yeah. And playing with Paul Di'Anno without a single rehearsal with the singer involved and playing in front of 80,000 AC/DC fans with like a few days notice. And wow.
That's the best. It's when he was talking about Di'Anno, I could just see Paul Di'Anno sitting in front of them like this.
Yeah. Yeah. You know? And I could totally see him being a big, intimidating figure.
Crawler.
Yeah. But shame about his health and his legs, but Steve Grimmett from Grim Reaper has proven that you can get up on stage in a wheelchair and play. So maybe Paul Di'Anno has a feasible future if gigging ever returns.
Yeah, I think when you think of Paul Di'Anno, you still think of Paul Di'Anno, how he looked on the back of the first two Maiden records.
Shaggy hair, yeah. But now he looks like a tough biker guy. Like he looks kind of like you do today.
Mine is tough.
So, Deke, are you doing records?
I'm going to my new job down at the docks.
Right. Deke used to work down at the docks. Down on a luck, it's tough. Oh, so
I'm waiting
tough.
for a shipment to come in. Wink, wink.
Harrison says that Deanna was going to do a farewell show before COVID. I guess
probably not a bad idea.
No.
I mean, at the time, but yeah, it's just one of those things. I mean, he seems he's in good spirits. I mean, he's not like Steph. He's not moping around about it. Like, he's doing it. You know, like it was good. Like, we didn't really stick to a structured. It was just like chat. And
I kind of gave up on that. I had a lot of questions and comments here, but I couldn't just interrupt him every 10 seconds.
No.
I was going to ask you though. You're hitting up Record Store Day shortly? Are you?
Well, my daughter, my one daughter, Lauren, as a belated birthday gift, is letting me online shop Record Store Day.
Right.
Artillery 333 in Montreal, because they do just a straight online Record Store Day. They don't even let people show up, stand in line. They say, stay home. You can come here and buy our used records or new records, but nothing RSD is out on the bin. So I think they open at 1, so I'll take a gander and see what there is. I mean, I'm sure Jon Snow by now has about 12 records.
He's on his way home, or was on his way home.
Oh, nice. So I'm sure he scored. He told me he was out there right before I came on with you. He was telling me that he was in a line of about 25 people, and I guess I was chatting with him at 7 this morning. And he said he was further back in line than he was at the last one. So I said, well, you know what? That's good for local business.
It is good for local business. Not for me personally, because I'm not a stand in line kind of person.
No. I was at Sunrise yesterday when my other daughter gave me a gift card for my birthday. So I picked up the Chili Peppers record. So when I was paying for it, I asked the guy at the counter, I said, do you guys even do a Record Store Day here? And he goes, oh, yeah, we do. We had people lined up outside here. And I'm like looking in that store going, what? Like, really? But I let him say his thing, but I have no interest whatsoever going to stand in line for, you could stand in line and it could just, who knows what the Thunder Bay store is getting. Could be just utter shit.
Right.
So, nah.
So. And, I want my record shopping experience to be a nice, pleasant, relaxed one. And I don't think this is an atmosphere for relaxed shopping right now. I'd feel rushed. I'd feel, uncomfortable, personally speaking.
And how they have it all set up too. I mean, you're going to have how are they going to do that? Are they going to let 10 people, who knows? I mean, you know what? I'm just a homeboy now. So I'm just home.
I guess if there's anything I really, really, really want, I can afford to pay the late tax, as they call it.
Yeah. Or it'll eventually end up on Amazon, like that Aussie live album I got a few months back, the live one with Rhodes from 2012. There it was on Amazon, Record Store Day 2012. Click, so nah. And the Fraley one I got at the last one, that's pretty. I've never done that before, so it was pretty cool. But I
like that Fraley. You found a good one with that Fraley for sure.
Yeah, thanks, pal. But yeah, that was a ton of fun today, man. Thanks for having me on.
No, thanks for coming on and getting up so early.
You know what? I'm up anyways every Monday to Friday at 5 a.m. So
yeah, but it's Saturday.
Saturday sleeping. My daughters laugh at me because when I tell them I slept in, it's usually till 6:30.
Right.
So I'm up anyways, but come back soon in a couple of weeks, folks. We got another guest lined up. So
that's actually okay. So we won't spoil anything. That'll be probably back to a Friday, but this particular guest is not in France, and we'll tell you more when you need to know.
You'll see him on the front of the LeBrain train poster.
You would definitely see his face on the front of that train.
All right, brother.
Deke, you take care, buddy.
We'll
enjoy the rest of your weekend.
I will, pal. See ya.
Ciao.